Thanks y'all for doing this. I appreciate it. So the question I'm wondering is, why do you think kids choose the disengagement pathway? Why do they sometimes avoid learning or withdraw from learning or disrupt? What do you think some of the root causes are?
I think it has something to do with probably the content that's being taught or the way it's being taught. I know for me, the more monotone or not, I guess, not exciting a tone from a teacher kind of is just shuts my brain down.
I agree. A lot of teachers, they like to give you notes and have you do it a week at a time, and then like 2 weeks, then do a project. So I feel like more projects, group work, and handle will have more kids' attention.
I think I think some people find certain stuff boring, certain stuff fun, and I feel like if like the teachers knew kind of like what that boring stuff was, it wouldn't be as boring, because I feel like if it's boring, people are gonna start paying attention less. They're gonna be on their phones. They're gonna be talking to people more, or they're gonna be doing something around them, touching their backpack, messing with someone else. And I think that's one of the main causes of disengagement, is that they don't want to be in that classroom.
I think if the teacher teaches the content in the same way over and over, it becomes very repetitive and very much as like a routine. Like if you're learning content just through like a lecture every single day, it gets hard to really listen to what they're saying and really learn from that. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people learn better with hands-on stuff. And so I think when the teacher tries to do more of that kind of work and activity, it's more beneficial to the class and you learn more.
I think that it's hard for teachers who are very passionate about what they teach. Obviously, they went to school for it, they know a lot about it, and so this is interesting to them. So I think it's hard for them to relate to the student who thinks this is boring. Like, I think it's hard for them to realize that they might not want to learn about Gothic novels and have to write all these thesis questions and all this, and so they just need a little help understanding on how to maybe improve it just a little bit. Not completely change the criteria, but make it more hands-on and like group work, to where it's not just the teacher talking to the student the whole day.
I know it's annoying, but I think phones are probably a big issue. Like, it's so easy to just look at your phone really quick and get lost in the class. And I know I do it in my macro class all the time. I look at my phone and then I miss half the notes. I think phone pockets do work. Like, we have them in my forensics class, and I do get a lot of my work done in there. I know a lot of students hate them, but I do think that they're very proactive in getting students to stay on task.
Like, it can get a little overwhelming, like with classes that give you so many papers, and then like you got to think some kids have 7 other periods that they have to go to, and so like piling up papers from macroeconomics, and then you have like engineering, and then reading, and then math, and then social studies, and just stuff like, they just pile on top of each other. And just having to think about that, and it kind of disengages you sometimes.
Can get overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think some kids, like if they're way down there disrupting a class, do you think that might be hiding or masking
I think
something?
A lot of people disrupt class so they get the teacher off topic, so they don't have to do a lot that day. I know a couple people who like to bug the teacher with questions and really try to get them off task a lot, and so that, I guess, makes them feel like they'll have less classwork that day if they get the teacher off task or disrupt the classroom.
And so maybe that's just because they're not feeling like doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Or it's too hard that they can't comprehend it and not getting help from the teacher.
Right, they don't know how to do it, and they'd rather look like the class clown causing disruptions than your friends knowing that the work's too hard.
That, and some people find like some classes incredibly easy. Like, they understand it, and so they feel like they don't need to pay attention because they're gonna figure it out no matter what. They don't need those notes. They need to do this practice to do it. because they feel like they're going to get 100 on that test, or at least a 90 on that test. And so I feel like that sometimes if it's too easy, they're not going to be engaged and not going to pay attention as much.
Cool. All right.
And I agree with what Morgan said. Sometimes it's hard to like understand what you're learning when your teacher is focused on the few students that's disrupting the class. She's not explaining it to the rest of the students who's trying to get their pass and like get a good grade, because she's not explaining the assignment or what they're doing that day, because she's focused on the students that's disrupting the class.
All right. Guys, I sure appreciate you. Thank you.